I was frying eggs when the knock came. Not gentle, it carried intent. When I opened the door, a woman stood there, badge glinting, holster visible, eyes like granite. "Sir, your wife was involved in a fatal shooting 2 hours ago." I laughed, not because it was funny, because it couldn't be real. "No," I said. "She's in the garage working on her car." The detective's expression didn't shift, but her hand inched toward her gun. "Sir," she said quietly, "please step aside." I did, slow and numb. The air smelled of burnt toast. We moved down the hall together, her boots thudding against the floorboards. My chest felt hollow, my mind fogged, like I was still trapped in a dream I couldn't wake from. When we reached the garage door, I hesitated. "She's right inside," I told her. The detective drew her weapon. The door creaked open, and the smell hit first. Metallic. Familiar. The car door hung open. The seat was empty. Her phone sat on the workbench, screen cracked, blood smeared along the edge. That's when the detective whispered, almost to herself, "Sir, if anything happened, you'd know why." Grief didn't come. Not immediately. Just confusion, then suspicion. Because Lydia wasn't the kind of woman who stumbled into trouble. She planned everything, her words, her tone, even her silences. She could lie without blinking, smile while bleeding. That morning, before the detective arrived, she'd said something strange. While pouring her coffee, she told me, "If anything ever happens to me, don't believe what they say." I thought she was being dramatic. We'd fought the night before, about money, about a business trip she claimed was work-related. But Lydia didn't really work, not the way she said she did. She disappeared every few weeks, came back quieter each time. Once with bruises on her wrist, once with a thick stack of cash I never asked about. I used to think she was cheating. Now, I didn't know what to think. After the police left, I stayed composed, answered their questions, signed their forms. Then, when the house fell silent, I started digging. Her phone was locked, but the blood had smudged the fingerprint sensor. It opened on the second try. Messages. Hundreds of them. A man named Elias. No surname. No photo. Just E. E. Everything's ready. He can't know. L. He won't. He never does. I scrolled through the thread. Coded phrases, coordinates, money transfers. And one video. Grainy, distant, Lydia in a car with someone. Not Elias. Detective Marrow. The same woman who told me my wife was dead. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in my head. "If anything happened, you'd know why." Maybe it wasn't a warning. Maybe it was an invitation. The autopsy came 2 days later, gunshot to the chest, close range, no defensive wounds. But something didn't add up. The timestamp. Lydia's time of death was before Marrow came to my door, meaning Lydia was already dead when the detective claimed she'd been in a shooting. I took the phone to a friend, a tech analyst I trusted. Within an hour, he found it, GPS logs, the final call. The night before she died, Lydia met Marrow at a motel off Route 6. The call lasted 12 minutes. Then, nothing. That night, I sat in my car outside the precinct, watching the rain blur the streetlights. Marrow walked out after midnight, calm, composed, like someone who'd already buried the truth. When she spotted me across the lot, our eyes locked. She smiled. It wasn't kind. I didn't yell, didn't threaten. I just waited, listened. Later, I filed a private request for internal affairs records, Marrow's disciplinary file. Turns out, she'd been investigated before, evidence tampering, coercion, all conveniently buried. So, I did what Lydia would have done. I turned the knife slowly. I sent the video, her and Lydia together, to Marrow's superiors. Included timestamps, GPS data, cell tower matches. No note, no signature, just facts. 2 days later, her suspension hit the news. Officer under investigation for connection to civilian death. The article didn't name Lydia. It didn't need to. That evening, Marrow showed up again. No badge, no uniform, just anger and exhaustion in her eyes. "You think you know who she was," she said. "I know enough," I replied. "She used us both, and now you're paying for it." Her jaw trembled. She stared at me for a long time before whispering, "You have no idea what she did." "You're right," I said, closing the door. "But I know what you did to her." The latch clicked shut, like a coffin closing. Weeks later, the truth surfaced. Lydia's name appeared in classified reports linked to a federal sting. She'd been an informant. Mara was her handler, and I was the pawn, the fool they both used to keep themselves clean. In the end, they killed her to erase the evidence she carried, evidence that could destroy them both. I expected grief, but what I felt was balance. Lydia lied to me in love. Mara lied to me in justice, and I lied to them both with silence. There's peace in knowing the story's finished, even if every part of it was a lie. I still cook breakfast every morning, still hear that knock in my head. But when I close my eyes, I don't see Lydia. I see the detective, and the look on her face when she realized Lydia might be gone. But I was still watching. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more powerful stories.